If everything in your life is always comfortable, Houston, we have a problem. Hello, hello, hello. You are listening to the Manifest on Purpose show. I am the host of that show. I am Kimbaley. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining today. Thank you for all of those you've invited to come with you. And thank you for subscribing here and on the website at Kimbaley, KIMBALEY.com. And you know how I feel about you. The God in me loves the God in you. Today, we're going to talk about a recent experience of mine and how it taught me how to step outside of my level of comfort. Today, I want to inspire you to do the exact same thing. But before we do, let's hear our Astro-Numerology forecast for today, courtesy of Astro-Numerologist LLoyd Strayhorn and the Star 8 mobile numerology app. It is Monday, September the 16th. The sun is in Virgo. The moon is in Pisces. It's the 8 universal month and 11 universal week and the 6 universal day. This is that kind of day whereby the less you say in discussions, be it at home or work or otherwise, the more you discover as well as uncover. In addition, your intuition and sixth sense are likely to heighten to an even higher level than normal, which may surprise even you. Bottom line, follow your first mind, regardless of what others may say or do. It's like you have a guardian angel sitting on your shoulders, acting as your coach over this 24-hour cycle. Taurus, Libra, and those born on the 6th, the 15th, the 24th, of any month are the ones likely to be on top of their game. Once again, that is the Astro-Numerology forecast for today, courtesy of Astro-Numerologist LLoyd Strayhorn and the Star 8 mobile numerology app. You can download that app at a star 8, ASTAR, the number 8.com. You can also get it on Google Play or the App Store, or you can go to Linktree/numbers and you, where you can have access to some of his other products and services, including the free monthly newsletter. And I must take a moment to say, I think I made a mistake on yesterday's forecast. I think I read today's forecast for yesterday. But either way, the one I read you today is today's forecast. If you want to go a little bit deeper into who you are, learn more about your characteristics, your personality traits, what makes you who you are, you should get your numerology report. Also, if you want to get to know the people that are around you, make sure that you get your compatibility report. It tells you how you match up with the ones that you are the closest to. Also, we're coming into 2025. Now is the time to start getting your astronumerology forecasts for the year to see what you can expect next year and to start preparing and planning already. You can find those things at Kimbaley, KIMBALEY.com. And if you want to get down to the nuts and bolts, the nitty gritty of who you are, you can also book Astro-Numerology consultation with myself, and that will be at Kimbaley.com as well. Now, let's dig deep into this story, and this story may be a bit familiar. The things that I'm most passionate about in my life, aside from children and family, would be metaphysics or spirituality, however you want to call it, helping others improve themselves and grow and being the best version of themselves, and manifestation, mindset. Those are the things that I'm really passionate about. And these are the things that I have decided that I'm going to go all the way with these things. And it's been a journey. The thought of the Manifest on Purpose show started in 2020. I wanted to be able to create an outlet, a place where I can reach lots of people. I started out using social media, and social media just didn't work for me because I had so much to say. So I started thinking about ways that I could reach a larger audience, an international audience, and be able to get them things that they need in their lives on a daily basis mentally. And the only way that I could think of was podcasting. And I was not familiar with podcasting, but during that time when I was trying to make that decision because I was tired of social media, I had a large following at Twitter during that time. And I also was doing a little something on Instagram, but I just wasn't feeling it because you could only post but a small amount. And I felt like the messages I had to share was much larger than I could use on a post or that I could place in a post. So during that time, someone came across my feed. They were promoting their new podcast. And I was thinking, podcast, what is that? And I think I maybe looked it up briefly to see what it was. I often talk about synchronicity. And the synchronicity in this is that once I saw that first post about podcasting, it seemed like a lot of things started to come through in my life about podcasting. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, it was the algorithm on social media. No, I'm not talking about just getting information from social media. These things were being discussed in the groups of people that I was sharing with, on a personal basis in my life. So the idea of podcasting became more familiar to me. And at some point, I thought, well, this may be good because I'll be able to reach the audience that I want to reach, and I'll be able to speak as much as I want to. Because if you don't know, once I open up, I love to talk. And sometimes there are people that are close to me that are in conversation with me, and the conversation just goes on and on and on. And I think to myself after the conversation, I know they're probably thinking, oh boy, she didn't let me get a word in edgewise. And so I needed an outlet for all of this information that was coming through. And this information is to impact the rest of humanity. So I knew that it was something important that I had to get to the bottom of. So I started on up, did not know a thing about podcasting. I guessed my way all the way through. And by the time I got all set up, I had gotten to the point where I had so much information that I was able to share with others by way of teaching and also helping others manage their podcast. But in order for me to do that, I had to step outside of my level of comfort. That first episode, it was so rough because I went back at one point to listen to some of the earlier episodes. And on the very first one, I mean, I heard trucks in the background. It was horrible. I wasn't into editing then. I taught myself how to edit once I started this podcast, but I got better with it over time. There were a lot of people in my ear at the time, like, girl, what's wrong with you? And even if they weren't saying it, the expressions on their faces said it all. And that's why, even though I thought about creating a podcast in 2020, I didn't actually launch it until 2021 because listening to what other people said, I kind of put it off on hold because I was nervous about doing it. But I made a promise to myself to do this in January. And I did because I blocked out all of the noise. I made that promise to step outside of my comfort zone to do something different that I had never done before. 2021 came, and as I said, the podcast launched. But during the year of 2021, there were some major shifts in my life. And these shifts actually began starting late 2020. But in 2021, it seemed like these shifts grew bigger. Some people may call the shift a challenge. It's not a challenge to me. I think it's just a shift. You're leveling up, you're doing something different, and it's placing you outside of your level of comfort. So that was what was happening to me. Because of these shifts, I went through some moments of anxiety and maybe even depression. But during that time, I was trying to figure out one, what's going on? I'm starting this new thing. So, what's happening to me? I'm here to empower others, yet I'm going through something myself. But I had to listen to the still small voice that told me that I need to be transparent. And so I shared that with my audience. I even did an audio journal where, I mean, that was the craziest thing. Like, I would wake out of bed each morning, and the first thing I would do was just record what I was feeling that day, what I uncovered about myself the day before. So I was going through an actual mindset shift during the time that I was just getting this podcast going that is intended to empower and help others. And I decided to share that with the audience because I wanted the audience to see that I'm not just teaching you things or telling you things because it sounds nice, or I heard someone else say it before, or I found it on a video somewhere. I'm sharing with you things that I have experienced in everyday life so that you're not the only one that's gone through what you're going through sometimes, or to let you know that all of us go through shifts in our life. That's why I had to be transparent. And I say all that to say this: I have to be transparent again. Coming up on another shift. We're going into 2025, and it's been on my mind that it's time to make some changes to the show. And of course, one of the main reasons that I chose podcasting is because I'm not a fan of doing videos. And I've been that way for a while. Recently, I've decided that it's time to do something different. I decided that I was going to record more videos and even start to go live sometimes. So, yesterday, in case you missed it, was the very first time that I went live with the weekly wisdom. Now, let me tell you, your girl was nervous. And it's something that at first I could not understand because this is something that I do on a regular basis. I just don't do it for social media. I do it in person as well, and have not had any of these issues being nervous or anything like that. So I kept wondering to myself, why was I so nervous? And so I took the evening to just think about that. And I'm always telling you to go within. And that's something that I always do for myself. When I can't figure it out right away, I go within to see what is going on. And we should always be doing that. And what I found is that the reason why I was so nervous and so anxious is because I had to step outside of a level of comfort. Let's talk about levels of comfort. As I said in the beginning, if you're always feeling like everything is always comfortable, there's a problem. Because going back to what I call a shift, or what someone else may call a challenge, all of these things precedes growth. Stepping outside of your comfort zone is growth. Let's look at it like this. Whenever you have a box, you hear people say, step outside of the box. Whenever you have a box is neither good or bad. It can contain something in a helpful way, or it can contain something in a not so helpful way. Let's look at something as simple as a box of cereal. Now, that box of cereal is helpful because it helps maintain the cereal until it's needed. However, if that cereal remains in that box, then that box is no longer serving a good purpose. Albert Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. If you stay inside the box, you're going to continue to get the same results because there's nothing you can do inside of that box. So that box can become limited space for you. But it's comfortable for you because it's what you've always known. But that's not the point. The point is it going to help you grow? If you're doing the same things day in and day out, then that means that you're not growing any. We're all here to grow and evolve. You should always be striving to grow, to elevate. But I don't want you, and you don't have to just coast through life hoping that you reach your purpose. It should be intentional. Really, that's what Manifest on Purpose is all about. It's about being intentional in life. It's about stepping outside of the box and knowing that even though it's nice and safe and cozy in that box, it's so much more that lies on the outside of that box. As for me, that won't be my last live. And I'm sure you probably know this won't be my last video. I'm going to try and try again until I get to that next level that I want to get to. That's all I'm saying to you. Don't give up. Step outside of what you're used to. Step outside of what's comfortable and do something new. And when you do that, keep going. Don't give up.